let's do a quick 4-minute review on the Princess Auto Power wheelbarrow. Now, I'm pretty happy with this. I've had it for probably about a year and a half now and moved pretty close to 20 yards with it. Now, it came in list when I purchased it, on sale I think about $2,000 Canadian, and its MSRP I think at $2,400. And it's sporting a 5-horse motor, I think it's a 126cc. It has 4 gears, it has a 1 reverse, 3 forward, and it's got a clutch to disengage and engage it to move it in forward or back. One of the problems that I have noticed with it is the transmission's a little bit on the cheaper side, so sometimes you kind of have to finesse it a little bit with the clutch just to get it in that last gear here. Let's show you that with the 3rd gear here when I try to get it to go into 3rd. It'll almost go all the way in, you kind of got to peck at it a little bit, and then you'll actually get it into 3rd gear and off you go. I definitely don't recommend you trying to switch it on the go, like while the wheelbarrow's moving, do not switch the gears. That poor little transmission will not stand it. You have to actually go stop, switch it into whatever gear you want, and then continue on using the clutch. One thing I do like about it is it has a throttle on your right hand side there. You can kind of slowly ease it down and kind of putt up to something. The actual dump box on this I think is probably 34 by 24 by 12 inches I think, and it holds a sporting 660 Chinese pounds. Now, I don't necessarily trust some of the Asian brands for the weight that they say that they'll carry, because sometimes they're like 660 pounds might actually break the thing. But I've had this thing right teeming full of rock. I've had it teeming full of dirt that's wet, and I haven't had any problems really with it yet. The start procedure is pretty simple. It's like any 5-horse. Turn it on, put your choke on, take your choke off, put your gas on, and you're off to the races. Now, we're just going to throttle it up here a little bit, put it in reverse, and I'm going to show you a couple quick things how to operate it. Each side you're going to have a left and a right. So if you want it to go left, you basically just grab the left clutch and stop it from spinning on that side. And it kind of runs like one of those cartoon tanks like you saw in the cartoons growing up. Now we're just going to finesse this into a higher gear. And then we're just going to kind of engage our clutch and then kind of drive it around as we go. Now, on the fly, you don't really need to be using those left and right clutches to lock your track up. You can kind of just lift it and kind of guide it a little bit, and you'll get a little bit of play with it if you can balance it just right. One thing I will suggest though is if you really love your lawn, you might want to have some plywood available. Now, when you do a 90-degree turn, I've kind of noticed that it does rip up your lawn a little bit just over time after doing it 3 or 4 times. And we're going to save our lawn today and use the plywood just to kind of turn around on. One of the other challenges that I've had with this thing here is it doesn't completely dump everything out of the barrel. So, I mean, the simple solution is I have a shovel at the front and I have a shovel at the back, and I'll just kind of have to scrape it out right after I dump it. And to be honest, you know, for the price, I mean, if you're going to go and buy a Kubota, then I think you have a bit of room to complain that it's not dumping all the way. But for the price that they're offering this for, it's pretty darn good. One of the other things I've noticed is this little lock switch down thing here. It doesn't quite always hold, so if you're going down a hill, you might want to make sure that's fully engaged so that that front dump doesn't kind of fall over the front and make your mess everywhere. Now, let's go over operation one more time with you. Okay, I'm just going to stick it in 3rd gear, kind of peck at it a little bit like we told you. Okay, now it's in 3rd. And we'll engage that clutch, and we're pretty much off to the races. Now, if I was going to give this a star rating, I'd probably give it a 4 out of a 5 star. I mean, for the bang for your buck, it worked really well for all of the projects that I had. I definitely would be very careful with kind of changing directions under a load going up a hill. I don't know if that transmission is going to love it too much, so if you got a lot of hills to go up, I would probably take straight shots, and then once you get to the top, you can kind of turn around and do what you need to do. But for now, you know what? I've got a retaining wall to build back here, and I've got a ton of projects that I've got to do with this thing, and I'm pretty darn happy with it, and it's been quite the back saver, that's for sure. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, give it a like button, and we'll catch you on the next one.